Hello, everybody, and welcome to the K&B Music Den. I'm Keith.
I'm Brad. He's gone.
Brad, I'm scared
Why are you scared?
because I feel like I hear voices.
Oh,
Voices,
I know what he's
the
saying.
name of the new album.
I know what he's saying.
Okay.
See, these aren't planned. And when he does shit like that, I'm like, what's he doing?
I've been planning this since
Because
Wednesday.
I got to play along like I know and I don't know.
You know, you try different things.
Yeah.
Some of them land, some of them just don't, like that. But anyway, back to standing up right and being trying to be normal. So the band, The Cold Stairs. What do you feel when you hear that term, The Cold Stairs? What do
It's
you
not a
think
good term.
Yeah,
You don't
it's
want to
like,
be cold stared at.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I
like
mean,
someone's mad at you or
Yeah.
trying to like ignore you or not, kind of ice you out. You know, cold.
It's kind of like you did a dick thing, everybody's looking at you like you are
Yeah.
a jerk. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I get those a lot around this house. Let me tell you, and I will at the new one too. I'm sure.
Yep.
But The Cold Stairs, it's a band that I had heard a little bit about. Maybe saw something on my phone and was just like, saw they had a new one coming out, and I was like, yeah, I thought I heard that, these guys are pretty cool. Check it out. And their most recent release just came out. It's called Voices. And I said to Brad, I feel like this is a band that is a solid rock band and doesn't get the attention they deserve, was my impression going into this. So I listened to the new album, 2 or 3 times, like we always do for a new review.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do what you do to me. This was kind of my idea. I kind of found this band.
He did.
So I'm just going to throw it right over to you first. First impressions. What do you think of The Cold Stairs? Voices.
Well, there's voices, but like you said, I only listened to it about 2 times. We did this pretty quick.
Yeah.
From Friday to now. This is weird for me because I'm a big blues fan.
Yeah.
I'm a huge blues fan. But when I talk about blues, I think about, Oxford, Mississippi. Those low blues, Junior Kimbroughs, R.L. Burnsides, the stuff that's being done at...
The OGs, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Howling Wolf. I mean, all the great old blues musicians. And then you had some groups that came out and tried to replicate that later down the road, like Dan Auerbach and what was the name
Black
of it?
Keys.
Black Keys.
Yeah, I was just thinking of them when you said that.
And they did an admirable job. Now, I have no right in telling anybody not to do anything. But to me, the blues... This is like the most political thing I'm ever going to say. It's a very black music to me.
Yeah, yeah.
It comes from the middle of America. The slaves came up doing the blues, and then as it got further along, I mean, you had to move into Chicago. You had the like I said, the Fat Possum Record Blues Company.
Yeah.
Those guys. So for me, I've struggled with rock bands that are blues that aren't from those areas. I don't know. I struggle.
Okay.
So I went into this kind of. Didn't know this band at all.
Yeah.
I listened to them and said, okay, this is blues. They're definitely running off a blues theme. It's good. I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. It's not my favorite thing.
Okay.
And I mean, like I said, I'm a huge blues fan. This is something that I listened to 2 times through. Enjoyed it. There's a few songs I really enjoyed. The Joy.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's track
it's a good
3.
one. Yeah.
That really stood out to me as a really good track.
Yeah.
But in general, I struggled with the album a little bit. Just because of, like I said, my leanings towards my blues favoritism. So, I mean, how about you? I mean, is this...
favoritism.
Yeah, no, you're not...
Yeah, well, that's a very interesting take on
Yeah.
it. I'm glad you brought that into the conversation. I don't have the same pedigree as you do with older blues, the real blues, as I like to call it. So, to me, it wasn't as much about that. It was more about, this is a cool rock band, and they have elements of the blues in their music. I don't really see them as a blues band.
You don't? Okay.
I see them as a rock band that borrows from the blues.
A lot, though.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm going to give you a cold stare.
And the thing is, like I said, I don't want this to come off as white people can't do the blues.
No.
It just, I struggle with it a little bit, personally. It's a personal thing for me.
Yeah.
This is not something I tell you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Just for me, when I equate blues music, it goes back to those days of, those, like I said, Lightning Hopkins and those guys.
John Lee Hooker.
Yeah, I struggle a lot with. Dan Auerbach was the closest thing I got to where I was like, okay, I'm comfortable with what he was doing.
Yeah.
He did the Junior Kimbrough, dedication album. I thought he did it justice.
True.
But I struggle. I like when a rock band is very heavily reliant on blues music. it doesn't sound authentic to me if it's not from a certain place.
Interesting.
But I mean, that's like I said, this is a me thing. This isn't
Well, it's an opinion.
Yeah.
This is why we do these videos.
Yep.
It's a preference. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I come from it more along the lines of, you know, here's a cool rock band. You know, do I like the singer? Do I like the do I like the guitar work? Are they borrowing heavily from the blues? Yes. But I don't think if someone is a person that says I'm not really too into blues music, I wouldn't say, well, then definitely don't listen to the Cold Stares. You're not going to get anything out of it. Because to me, now when I think of the blues, and this is my ignorance maybe, and I know it's not 100% this, but a lot of the blues music is that simple, 1-4-5, or just that, because back to the and you know what I'm talking about. So they do some of that on here, but there's plenty of songs that don't follow the typical tried and true blues formula of E A E back to E A, then back to E, then B, then A, then E. I mean, it could be in a different key, of course, but that's the standard blues pattern.
It is.
Which is, I mean, it's been replicated millions of times. These guys borrow from the blues, but I mean,
if you were describing this album to somebody who'd never heard him before, and you weren't just hearing what I said about him, would blues come into the conversation?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. No doubt.
Okay.
I would say, meat and potatoes rock and roll band that borrows from the blues unapologetically.
Okay.
That's how I would describe them. So to me, I didn't get as much in the weeds as far as like this isn't Howlin' Wolf, but again, that's why we.
But it's like I said,
two people on the channel.
Yeah, like if you guys are looking at me, don't be angry. This is a personal thing. I know it is. Like I'm not mad at them. Like. You should be able to make any kind of music that makes you happy.
Yeah.
That makes you feel good. It's just internal my brain. When I hear the blues, I immediately want to go put on one of those albums.
Okay.
And not one of
And that's fair.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask you to stretch here for a second
for
me. Turn that part of your brain off.
Yeah.
And think of this album and just...
They're a talented band.
Did you enjoy it? Did
They're
you like
a
the guitars?
band.
Did you like the vocals?
They perform well. The music's done correctly.
Songwriting?
The vocals are good. Like I said, the songwriting is well.
Yeah.
The vocals are good. The Joy, that track, I just was listening to it again. I went, man, that's a really good. That sticks. That track sticks.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, will I listen to it again? Probably not. Only because if I get in the mood for the blues, I have a different direction I go.
Gotcha.
That's where my brain's at. This is definitely falling into the blues category, but I have a different direction I go with the blues.
Okay, and that's fair.
And it's a personal thing.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I really enjoyed this album.
Good. Okay.
I will listen to it again.
Okay.
I think these guys deserve more attention. And this brings up something that I'll get to in a moment. But to talk about the album itself, right from the opening seconds, that riff on the first song, which is called Nothing But the Blues. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That just drew me right in. I was like, the voice sounds really strong. The guitar riffs throughout this album it's what you would ask of a band, in the sense that a lot of them sounded like, wow, I feel like I've heard this riff before, but I probably haven't heard it exactly this way. It's just the way they do it. It makes it feel familiar instantly, if that makes any sense. But I thought the guitars were fantastic on this album. I thought the songwriting, for the most part, was spot on. Again, like I said, the vocals were very good. But here's what I want to talk about too.
Sure.
I don't understand. And is it marketing? What is it? Just luck of the draw? Is it, or does it come down to that one song that's undeniable, and then everybody gets into a band? But bands that are out there, and the example I give, and this may be a lazy and not really too accurate example, but I heard this and I was like, you think of a band like Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats.
Yeah, sure.
Why are they huge? And these guys have a following, I'm sure, have a fan base. These guys are, this is what they do for a living, deservedly so. But the Cold Stares, if you subscribe to the channel and you put up this review, a lot of you are probably like, never heard of them. And I always wonder about, is it luck? What is it? Because there's so many bands that deserve
But that's the thing, and
more
we both know the answer to that. You were in a band, and I'm not trying to pump his ego up in front of you guys, but it was a very good band. I really enjoyed the band.
Thank you.
and they got no attention outside of a few local radio stations playing a single here.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes it's location. I think it's a big thing.
Yeah.
Like if you guys moved to
Well,
LA,
true.
you probably would have hit something.
That's a huge part of it.
I think location's big. I think catching a certain break, something ending up on a TV show or a commercial or a song, like blows things up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a matter of who knows where Nathaniel Ratcliffe might have toured with. Somebody that popped the door open for him.
That's true.
So it's also who you
Opening
know.
act,
And
yeah.
So,
and these guys might get that. Yeah, these guys might go tour with. I mean, I could see them opening for the Black Keys.
they could.
You know, I mean,
They
you know,
could.
and I'd get a lot of their fans along the way on the tour. I that's totally feasible for these guys. I mean, it's one of those things where I hear a band that's not a household name that really is put out a really, really great album. And, you know, if they came to our area, I would go see them.
I would go see them.
You know, I'd pay
I have
20,
no
25
problem
bucks to
with
see
them.
'em.
I think they're a very good band.
Yeah.
When I say this, I'm just talking about for me personally.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back to it much.
Well, yeah, and like you said, and you explain why, you know,
Yeah.
you're deep rooted.
We only have so much music to listen to, time.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have genres and things we go into
Yeah.
buckets, and
That's
my
true.
blues bucket's very full. I
Yeah,
got a
well,
big...
and mine's not.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. I
Yeah.
mean, not that I have no blues or no knowledge of
Yeah.
any blues or none in my collection. That's not true at all. But just not, you know, it's never been like a huge part of my listening. But so the song we usually do songs. You talked about The Joy.
The
it's
Joy's
called.
my favorite, yeah.
My favorites are the opener, Nothing But the Blues.
And that's a fantastic song, too.
I mean, that riff.
That would be my number 2.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then Got No Right is one. It's near the middle. I really enjoyed that.
Okay, I don't remember that one quite as well.
Okay, that's-
Without
Yeah.
going back to it.
That's fine. I think it's right before my third. Not necessarily these are in order, but my number 3. Dude, I hope you remember this ballad. Sorry I Was Late.
Yeah, which is very
That's a great song. Wow, that's a
Yeah.
great song. So I would definitely check, you know, like the one he said, The Joy. Those even those 4 there. If
Yeah.
you wet your whistle, you'll see if you like this or not. If it's your thing. But you know, and what 13 songs? I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't feel like a lot of times when it's a 13 song album, I'm like, all right, I get the point, you know. But no, I didn't feel that way at all. When this was over, I was like, oh, it's over.
No. And again, from my aspect of it, if I were to grade the album, I'd give it a B.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is a bad album by any means. It's a good album. If you put it on, you're going to like it. I enjoy it.
B for the blues.
Yeah. I just there's a bucket list of things I got in there and they're not going to fit, but
Yeah.
it's not a bad album by any means.
I would probably give it a B+.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, kind of the big way we standardize things here. Would you buy it on vinyl? Because the price of vinyl, we always that's where you can tell if you really like it or you just okay.
That's a very good point and a good thing to bring up.
Yeah.
For me, I have to listen to it at least one more time to make that decision concretely.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards yes.
Would you? Okay.
I'm leaning towards yes.
Okay.
Just because this is a little different than a lot of stuff I have, and I don't have anything that just came out that's in this kind of a wheelhouse style on vinyl right now in my collection.
Gotcha.
So to me, that's a gap in my collection.
And that's
so
a
to
big
speak.
thing. Yeah. See, that's a big thing. If you are lacking in the blues area, this is a good band.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you stack them up against the Black Keys, because we say them too, they do have the same vibe. I would take the Black Keys. I think
probably would too.
Auerbach kind of replicates blues in a way that's the way Eminem replicates rap. He's kind of an offset where, to me, he does fit the blues mold very well.
Yeah.
These guys are good. It's just, to me, not quite the same.
Sure, and that's fair. I mean, I would edge the Black Keys out over the Cold Stairs too.
Okay.
But you know, it's closer than you might think.
They're good. Yeah, they're good.
I highly recommend this album. And again, you know, just us having this conversation. I hope what this does for a lot of you viewers out there is, you know, and we're about to wrap this video up, and it's like, I want to check that album out. Like that's the goal here,
Yeah.
because like we're not both sitting here saying the same thing.
No.
And you could listen to it and say, yeah, I kind of see where Brad's coming from, or I kind of see where Keith's coming from, which is cool. So I hope we've piqued your interest,
Yeah.
which is the main objective of a video like this, in the band, the Cold Stairs. New album, Voices. I want to go back and listen to it. I saw they had at least one more full length before this, probably more that I just didn't pay attention to. But this is a good place to start for this band, I would think, because it's a smoking album.
Yeah. If it's turned on the radio and I was driving, I wouldn't turn it off.
Absolutely.
It's a good album. It's just
Yeah.
when I rate things, I rate it on would I put it in on my own, and normally I would not on this one.
Okay. Fair.
But it's not because it's bad. It's just there's
yeah.
a lot of options that kind of in that wheelhouse that
Sure.
I would lean towards.
Sure. Yeah. And you know, when we pick something like this where it's not a household name and we're trying to find stuff that's not, you know, yeah, we are gonna. The new Dave Matthews Band is coming out, you know, later this year. We're gonna review it. I'm looking forward to hearing it. I heard the first single. I thought it was really good. The new Jason Isbell and 400 Units coming out. I mean, these are things that we know we want to review. We know we want to hear. But you know, when you get these outliers and you shine a spotlight on these bands that deserve it. You know, I that's a big part of why, you know, we wanted to even start a channel like this. So enough of us blabbing. Well, that's what we do. Put in the comments, what are your thoughts on Voices by the Cold Stairs? What are your favorite songs, if any? Where do you fall on this whole discussion? So as we always say, for the KMB Music Den, Brad, Keith, like, subscribe.
Break the phone.
Smash the bell.
Smash the shit out of that phone.
Smash the shit out of that bell, man. Every time we drop a video, your phone's going to be like, yo, these guys are talking again. You got to check it out, bro.
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean,
a little bit like that.
You know, actually, I could set up something and put it online so it could be my voice giving you an alert.
That'd be cool.
Hi, this is Keith from the KMB Music Den. We just dropped a video. You know, something like that.
In that voice.
Yeah, in that voice, exactly.
And then you could use it as your ringtone. I mean, your alarm for the morning.
Yeah. Wake up. This is Keith from the KMB. Anyway, we're going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, we are.
But The Cold Stairs, Voices, new album. Check it out. Let us know what you think. I'm going to stop talking, believe it or not. See you soon.